Somewhere along the way, the idea of a normal job started feeling different. Not overnight, it happened quietly. Now, you scroll online and see teenagers selling digital products from their bedrooms, college students running small agencies between classes, or someone making more money from a laptop than people with traditional careers. And the strange part is, nobody really seems surprised anymore. It's becoming normal to see a 19-year-old talking about clients, revenue, or building a brand like it's just part of everyday life. A few years ago, that sounded unrealistic. Now it feels expected. Even people who aren't trying to become influencers still think about side income, online business, or escaping the idea of working one job forever. Have you noticed that too? The mindset changed before most people even realized it. And maybe this isn't just another internet trend. What's interesting is that this mindset goes beyond people trying to become rich online. Even normal conversations feel different now. A few years ago, most people talked about getting a stable job, moving up slowly, maybe staying in the same company for years. Now, the conversation sounds more like, what else can I do on the side? Everyone has an idea for a store, a channel, a freelance skill, or some kind of extra income. And honestly, a lot of it comes from the feeling that one job no longer feels safe enough. Companies downsize fast. Entire industries change overnight. People work hard for years and still feel replaceable. So depending on one paycheck starts to feel risky, even if the salary looks good on paper. That's why side hustle culture exploded so quickly. It's less about chasing luxury and more about avoiding vulnerability. Maybe you've felt this too, even if you never said it out loud. That quiet feeling that having only one path in life suddenly feels dangerous. A big part of this started with the internet itself. This generation grew up watching people build entire careers from a screen. Not celebrities, regular people. A guy making videos in his bedroom, someone selling designs online, a teenager streaming games and somehow making real money from it. And when you see that at 12 or 13 years old, it changes the way you think about work before you even have your first job. A lot of people remember staying up late watching YouTube videos about online businesses, creators showing their income, or random stories about someone making thousands from a laptop. At first it looked impossible, then it slowly started feeling normal. The phone stopped being just entertainment. It became proof that money, attention, and opportunity could all exist online. That shift happened early, long before adulthood, long before resumes or office jobs entered the picture. So, by the time many of them finally entered the workforce, their expectations were already completely different from the generations before. Then COVID happened, and that feeling got stronger. Suddenly, everything people thought was stable started looking fragile. Stores were closed, schools went online, parents were stressed about work, money, and things nobody expected a few months earlier. Even simple routines disappeared almost overnight. And when you're young and watching all of this happen in real time, it leaves an impression. A lot of people saw adults who had done everything correctly still struggling to keep control of their lives. At the same time, the internet kept moving. YouTubers were still uploading. Streamers were still making money. Online businesses were still running from bedrooms and laptops, while the outside world felt completely uncertain. That contrast changed something psychologically. It made digital work feel more real and traditional systems feel less guaranteed. Maybe that was the moment a lot of people quietly realized that the system everyone trusted wasn't as solid as it looked. And once that idea gets into your head, it's hard to unsee it. A lot of people say younger generations are lazy or don't want to work anymore. But honestly, that doesn't seem true. Most of them are working all the time. The difference is that they don't want to feel trapped while doing it. There's a huge difference between being tired and feeling stuck, and a lot of traditional jobs create that feeling fast. Low pay, fixed schedules, managers controlling every hour, repeating the same tasks every day without feeling like any of it actually belongs to you. You give your energy to something that could replace you next week and keep moving like nothing happened. That's the part many people struggle with now. Then they go online and see someone build an audience from a single video. Someone sells a digital product they made once. Someone turns a small idea into real income without asking permission from a boss first. Even if those stories are rare, they change how people think. Suddenly, the internet feels less like entertainment and more like an exit door. Not because people hate effort, but because they want more control over where that effort goes. At some point, people stop treating the internet like a separate place from real life. Now, your profile, your photos, even the way you talk online can affect opportunities, money, and status. So a lot of younger people learn very early how to present themselves. They optimize Instagram bios, build LinkedIn profiles before finishing school, and network online like it's part of daily life. Not because they're fake, but because visibility started feeling valuable. The strange part is how normal this became. Someone posts content consistently for a few months, and suddenly they're getting clients, connections, or job offers from people they've never met. So, identity slowly turns into something strategic. You start thinking about how you look online, what people associate with your name, what kind of image you're building, without even realizing it. And honestly, that changes the way people move through life. Careers are no longer just about skills. They're also about attention, about being seen, about staying visible. When did normal life start feeling like content? That's probably why so many people became obsessed with having multiple income streams. Not just one job, but a second thing, a backup plan, something extra running in the background. And from the outside, it can look excessive. Someone checking sales at midnight, refreshing analytics during dinner, answering messages the second they wake up. It looks like ambition, like hustle culture. But a lot of the time, it's something quieter than that. It's fear. Fear that one algorithm change, one layoff, one bad month could erase everything overnight. So people keep building. Another account, another skill, another source of income. Not because they're greedy, but because relying on one thing no longer feels emotionally safe. And honestly, once you've seen enough instability, that mindset starts to make sense. From the outside, it looks like hustle culture. But underneath it, a lot of people are just trying to feel safe. They want options. They want breathing room. They want the feeling that if one part of life collapses, everything else won't collapse with it. That's why this generation often looks restless, even when things are going well. The anxiety never fully disappears. It just becomes more productive. And this is where the internet completely changed the way people think about work. For a long time, income was tied directly to hours. You worked more, you earned more. Simple. But online business introduced a different idea entirely. One video can keep getting views while you sleep. One digital product can sell hundreds of times without being remade. A template, a course, an automated store, a piece of content posted once can keep generating money long after the work is finished. And once people experience that even a little, it becomes hard to ignore. That's why internet business feels almost addictive to some people. Not just because of the money, but because of the leverage. The feeling that your effort can multiply instead of reset every morning. Suddenly, time itself starts feeling different. People stop asking, "How many hours can I work?" and start asking, "How can I build something that keeps working without me?" That shift sounds subtle, but it changes the way an entire generation values effort, freedom, and even their future. Because of all this, the way younger people look at credentials has started to change too. Not completely, but enough to notice. A degree still matters in many situations. Experience still matters. But people don't automatically see those things as the only path anymore. A lot of younger people grew up watching self-taught creators build businesses, audiences, and careers from skills they learned online. They saw designers with no formal training getting clients, editors learning from YouTube tutorials, developers building projects without traditional backgrounds. So the idea of expertise became less tied to institutions and more tied to visible results. Instead of asking, "Where did you study?" people often ask, "What have you actually built?" And honestly, the internet reinforced that mindset every day. You can see someone's work instantly now. Their videos, their projects, their audience, their proof. That changes perception. It doesn't mean school is worthless. It just means people trust demonstrated ability more than titles alone. The psychological shift is subtle, but it changes how an entire generation thinks about success, credibility, and even self-worth. After looking at all of this, I honestly don't think the story is as simple as people make it sound. It's easy to say younger generations are obsessed with money, attention, or becoming entrepreneurs too early, but I'm not sure that's really the core of it. A lot of people aren't chasing private jets or trying to become internet millionaires. They just want more control over their lives. They want flexibility. They want options. They want to feel like one mistake, one layoff, or one bad year won't completely destroy their future. And when you grow up in a world that feels unpredictable, that reaction starts to make sense. Honestly, I don't think most people want to become CEOs. I think they just want to feel like their future belongs to them. Maybe that's why this shift feels so big. It's not only about work. It's about security, identity, and the fear of depending on systems people no longer fully trust. And if any part of this felt familiar, I'd genuinely like to hear your perspective in the comments. Have you noticed this change too, or maybe even felt it yourself? And if you enjoy these slower, more thoughtful conversations about modern life, you can like the video, subscribe, and stick around for the next.